Good morning and welcome to our Masterclass, a guide to career clarity, presented to you by myself, Sally Watson, and our amazing coach here at Career Creators, Crystal Billing. You'll get to learn more about both of us shortly. If you don't know where you want to be in 5 years' time, you're already there. I absolutely love this quote, and it can really hit hard for some people. Having career direction and knowing where you're wanting to go means that you'll start focusing on that and taking actions and moving towards creating your career vision. And that's what we're all about here at Career Creators, is helping you to have clarity on your career vision and where you're going. Now, I want to ask you, for those in the room or listening to this recording, have you ever felt like you're on the hamster wheel, work, 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 yet not sure where you're getting to? Or have you ever felt like you want change, but you just don't know the steps to take to really progress, up level, take things to that next stage, or pivot your career? If this is you, you're not alone. You're simply at a career crossroads and unsure which way to go. This was me too, and so many others, so much so that I have now created a career around helping people to navigate these crossroads. So many of us find ourselves living life by default rather than by design. You know, when we live our life by default, we're not in the driver's seat of our own life. We're letting life happen to us rather than navigating in the direction that we want to go. Can you relate? If so, you're in the right room, because I've taken my own experience as being at a crossroads on two quite significant occasions. And I've taken my knowledge, skills, and experience from working in HR and recruitment for nearly a decade, and the last 5 years coaching people, studying human behavior, working on my own personal development, and being a career coach. And I've created the Creator's Way, which is a 5-step formula to help unfulfilled professionals that are at a career crossroads to navigate the uncertainty and create an aligned career, business, and life. So as Jim Rohn says, if you want to be wealthy and happy, learn this lesson well. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Our intention of this masterclass today is to help you to take the first steps to designing a career that suits you. Of course, we only have 60 minutes here today, and we won't have time to teach you everything that we do with our clients and in our Career Blueprint program, but we're going to give you a taste, and we're going to take you through one activity that's really going to help you today, and we've also got another gift for you as well. What to expect today. You will get to meet me and Crystal and find out a little bit more about our journeys to gaining career clarity. You will understand why you want career clarity, learn how to gain career clarity, do some activities, and I've got some awesome freebies up for grabs. Okay, so my expectations. Firstly, I really want to acknowledge you for showing up today, or for grabbing the replay of this recording and watching this, showing up for you. You know, you are here for you. And the fact that you are here tells me a few things about you. It tells me that you're open to learning. It tells me that you want to improve yourself and your career. It tells me that you're an action taker. And it tells me that you're interested in it and intrigued about creating a career that suits you. Does this sound like you? So my only one request from you today is that you give your undivided attention. You're here for a reason. You're showing up. Now switch off the 95 other tabs or distractions that you may have, or otherwise press pause and come back when you can give your attention to this masterclass. Because remember, what we focus on is what we get. So where energy goes, where focus goes, energy flows. Okay, so give your focus to this, and this is where you will start bringing your awareness and getting results, and your energy will go there, flow that way. So first freebie up for grabs. So grab your workbook. We do have the link for you to download this. This is your first freebie, a guide to career clarity. This is a digital workbook for all masterclass participants. And what this workbook is a snippet of the more extensive workbook in our career blueprint program. So in our career blueprint program, we have like a 50-page workbook. This is a 12-page workbook, and it just goes into a lot more depth. But you're getting a snippet, and we're going to be helping you with a couple of these exercises today. First up, let's meet Crystal. Come on down, Crystal.
Morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. Hope everyone else is well. Nice to see you all.
Nice to see you as well. I'll just pin us both up there, Crystal. So if you'd like to share a bit about you, Crystal, and your journey of gaining career clarity, I think that would be really valuable for the people in the room today.
Awesome. Thanks, Sally. More than happy to. So like it says on my line there on Zoom, I'm a career coach at Career Creators. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
All the same.
But I really wanted to share with you guys when I first came across Sally, and it wasn't to become an employee or a contractor with Career Creators. So it was several years ago now, and I was feeling quite stuck and frustrated and misaligned in my own career, or at least in parts of what I was doing for work at the time. And I was really lacking motivation to actually get out of bed each day and to go to work. Like, it just wasn't a good cycle that I was in. And I felt like there was a negative flow on effect into other areas of my life as well. And I had a little bit of awareness about what I was good at and some of the questions that Sally has already asked. I had some awareness of that about my role that I was doing, but I was quite unclear on what my career path looked like moving forward. And so eventually, and I'll tell you about the eventually in a minute, but I started to look around on LinkedIn and I came across Sally as a career coach. And so I booked in the free call. And in the free call, Sally took me through this exercise that helped me to understand my core drivers. And that really opened my eyes as to why I wasn't enjoying my current work at the time. And it also helped me to make some immediate changes in my day-to-day so that I could actually enjoy it more. So that just blew my mind straight away from the free call.
Hi.
And also during that free call, Sally found out from me that I had been thinking about becoming a coach. So in my previous career, I was not a coach. I was a leader and a manager. And I'd been thinking about becoming a coach because I loved that part of my leadership role the most. I knew it was a strength when I got to sit down with an employee or host a small workshop for my team. Those were my favorite things. And Sally said, "How long have you been thinking about doing this?" I said, "About 5 years." And that kind of, blew my own mind again, because I don't think I'd admitted to anyone I've been thinking about this career path for 5 years. And then Sally said to me, "Well, if you were where you were now in another 5 years, how would that feel?" And I definitely wasn't okay with that and staying in that stuck state. So I was in the right place being in that free call with Sally and being able to talk to someone about this that I hadn't spoken about before. So I knew that it was at least time to explore my idea and to see what career clarity might look like for me, or what the blueprint and the path might look like moving forward. And so I decided to invest in myself through Sally's Career Clarity program, which is what it was at the time. It's now Career Blueprint. And I remember some of the first things I got awareness around were some of the questions that Sally has asked today. So what are my strengths? What are my motivators? The things that come easily and naturally to me, my genius zone, and how I operate at my best. And so, as you've just heard, I am now a career coach and I get to work with Sally. So fast forward all of that time and I've finally acted on what I was thinking about for years. I also have my own business and I get to be a life and wellbeing coach and work with amazing people. So I really love what I've created and I love being able to share it with other people like you guys, and just really starting with that free call and the career clarity piece. I say to people, it's like it literally changed my life, and my career trajectory. There's so many different parts of my world that have now changed. So I'm really glad that I invested in myself in that way, and started in a similar setting like this. So thank you for listening to a small part of my story.
Thank you so much for sharing your part of your story. Crystal has loved this. Share some comments in the chat to thank Crystal for sharing her story. Crystal does also have her own business. She wears many hats in her life and it's all really aligned to her. So she does really bring in this wellness and well-being aspect, which is part of her business, but brings that in with her career coaching and the work that she does now with career creators. It's absolutely been a wonderful journey of a couple of years since we first met, Crystal, and I'll never forget that first free call that you did take and how profound that was for you. And you're definitely not alone with having felt that way for 5 years. I hear that so often. And it really is, it can be a bit hard hitting. It's like, oh, well, what if I do carry on another 5 years just thinking about this? Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, Crystal. And I'm sure many people will relate. Lots of comments coming through. I am a lover of quotes. And this one I know really strikes a chord and resonates with a lot of people, as it did me. More is lost by indecision than wrong decision. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. It will steal you blind. And so often people are stuck in indecision due to fear of making the wrong choice, of going down the wrong path, choosing the wrong career path, choosing the wrong thing to study. And what if there was no wrong? And by not making that decision is actually by default the wrong choice because it's keeping you stuck in indecision. So indecision, there were many times throughout my life that I have been stuck in that indecision, that led me to career confusion and two very distinct crossroads moments in my career. So my first crossroads moment was after the birth of my second daughter. The first daughter quite seamlessly navigated the return to work. And at this point, my life and career was quite aligned. And we all go through stages and phases throughout our life. Okay? And the second time around, life was different. I had a longer commute to the office, which ended up being an hour and a half each way, 3-hour round trip, navigating daycare for now 2, where I dropped my babies off for 11-hour days. They were having breakfast, lunch and dinner there. I also had a husband that had a really busy schedule in his work. So he was working 70 plus hours a week. And on top of that, my second baby was not a sleeper. So things became really misaligned and I was just so exhausted throughout this phase of my life. I hit a really challenging point in my life. I was drained, I was lost, and I just felt desperate for change. I knew that I had more to give, but I had no idea what. And all I did know at that point was that something had to change. That's all I knew. I was so confused with everything else. I just couldn't keep going the way things were. And I knew something had to change. And it did. And it was 3 or 4 a.m. one morning, early hours of the morning. I'd been nursing my then 10-month-old baby for hours, as I mentioned, non-sleeper. And I realized that I had to be awake soon to start my day and go to work. And I was just like pulling my hair out. I'm like, I've had broken sleep all but a couple of hours. How on earth could I keep doing life like this? My life felt crazy. And in that moment, while I was too scared to put the baby back down in her cot, because I, didn't want to risk waking her. So I just sort of left there dozing off, but I was scrolling across my phone and it was just like, I had this light bulb moment. I was scrolling on Pinterest and just aimlessly scrolling, but I had this post jump out to me and it was something like, answer these 2 questions for clarity. And I was like, what's this? What are these 2 questions? And answering these 2 very powerful questions are exactly what led to my light bulb aha moment, that the clarity came. So who wants to know what these questions were? Awesome. So question 1, what skills do I have? And question 2, what do people come to me for help with? In that moment, everything changed. The clarity came. I discovered that I have skills that people want, because there was a correlation between my answers to those 2 questions. And in that moment, I made the decision to change. I decided to pivot from career desperation to aspiration. And then I began taking steps to create the aligned career and life that I was dreaming of. Did it happen overnight? No. Did I end up needing more clarity as I progressed? Absolutely. And clarity is evolving. Yeah. It's not something that we just get once and that's it. We need to continue to reflect, learn more about ourselves, ask really great questions. If we want great answers, we need to ask ourselves high quality questions. Now, if you're not able to answer these straight away, that's okay. Let it simmer, let it bubble away, and start creating a list of the different skills that you have, and start creating a list of what do people come to you for help with, and start noting that down. Yeah, start noticing, start taking notice of what do people ask you for help with. That could be friends, it could be family, it could be in the workplace, it could be clients. Start noticing, what do they see in you that perhaps you're not seeing. Making the decision to change was key for me. Getting clarity that my skills were needed. And what these skills were, I was working in recruitment in HR, and people would actually come to me and ask for help with their resumes and help with their career. That's when I had the realization. I was like, oh, wow. I realized a lot of people don't really know how to write or produce a great resume, because I was seeing that in my career, and people were coming to me, and I realized, well, I could help people with this. So the second key for me in moving forward was this, is when I got to work that day, even if I might have been a bit delirious, I told my work bestie about this. I told my work bestie that I was going to start a business helping people with their careers and writing resumes. Start with that. So by sharing that with her, it kept me accountable. Had I not vocalized that, I could have got home from work that night and perhaps talked myself out of it. But I'd put it out there into the universe. And I decided I was doing this. I was on a mission, because I had hit that point where something had to change. And then this was it for me. So off I went. Now, I don't recommend that you need to get to a state of desperation to be able to get this clarity. Use my learnings. Ask yourself these questions. And I've got so many other tools as well in my toolbox that can help you to have your aha moment. Now, I've taken all of my own experiences from my crossroads moments, my own personal development, studying human behavior, studying life coaching, working in recruitment, HR, got combined 15 years experience, and I have created a 5-step formula called the Creator's Way to help you create an aligned career and life. that will help you to navigate the uncertainty and gain clarity and build confidence. So if this is something that sounds intriguing or has piqued your interest, stay tuned and I will talk you through that very soon. A few lessons learned from my journey is you don't have to have it all figured out to get started, because I definitely didn't. You know, I had my light bulb moment and then I just got started anyway. Did I know how to run a business? Absolutely not. But I just started and figured it out as I went. My other lesson, don't wait for a major life event to do what you really want, because life is too short. Here's a few images of my business journey, running workshops, running group sessions, speaking at different events. As I said, did I have it all figured out? Absolutely not. Did I create a Facebook page and website and magically the business grew? No. But I threw myself into learning. I threw myself into my own personal development journey. And I chose to be green and growing rather than ripe and rotting. Absolutely love that quote. That's another one I heard from a mentor in my early years. Are you green and growing or ripe and rotting? We want to embrace that growth mindset and continue to be learning and growing. Another thing along my business journey is I invested in myself. I invested in my skills and I invested in me. You know, not only have I retrained and studied and invested in, you know, that 4-year process of studying and retraining, I've invested over $100,000 in numerous courses and coaches. And you know, some people you might go, oh my gosh, that is so much. And yes, I've felt the fear when I've invested. Yes, it's been scary. But I also love that quote, feel the fear and do it anyway. A key point for me was when I got my own coach. And that's, you know, when I realized I need to invest in myself. How can I expect people to invest in me as a coach if I'm not investing in my own coach to have my own breakthroughs? I also realized that my career could only grow if I was growing. Every time I felt stunted in my career or business, I needed to look internally to have my own breakthrough and grow. My career is a reflection of what's going on for me. So that's some other lessons learned. And the result has been an aligned career that suits me, a career that is aligned to my strengths. I am utilizing my strengths in the work that I do. I am in my genius zone. It's a rewarding career. It's fulfilling. What I do gives me purpose. It gives me meaning, and I'm making an impact to people's lives. As you heard from Crystal earlier, her life completely changed and transformed. I absolutely love what I do. I love getting to help people like you. Here is me working on the road in our caravan, traveling with my family. I ran my business whilst working and traveling. You know, it's just showing that you can create a career to suit your lifestyle. So let's explore that further. What is an aligned career? What exactly is a career that suits you? You know, is it one that matches your personality, your values, your strengths? Think about what it means to you. And now we'll talk about what it is not. Okay, so let me know in the comments which is resonating for you. So this is what it is not. This is confused Catherine. So we don't have an aligned career when we're dreading going to work on Monday mornings. Who has that work dread come up on a Sunday afternoon? Oh God, I don't want to go to work tomorrow. We're just feeling meh, feeling flat, drained, like really just unmotivated and unexcited for your work. Imposter syndrome is rife. And what that means is, you know, you just feel like a bit of a fake or a fraud, or you're not really that good at what you're doing. And perhaps you are. Other people may see you as that you are, but imposter syndrome is coming up for you. And this can be a form of self-sabotage. You don't know what you want to be when you grow up. You know, this was me as well for so many years. You only work for the paycheck. You only do what you do simply to live your life and live for the weekends or live for those 4 weeks of holidays per year. Doesn't make sense if we're only living for those 4 weeks out of the 52, or the 2 days of the weekend out of the 7. You know, it's just maths. What if you could be enjoying more of your life and enjoying the work and getting fulfillment from the work you do? What it is not is you're unclear on your strengths, your genius zone, your transferable skills. Or perhaps you're saying yes to all these work tasks to prove yourself or to please others. And this could be a people-pleasing self-sabotage strategy that's then leading you to, you know, resentment, because too much people-pleasing will fuel resentment, and you will lead to burnout. That is not an aligned career. On the other hand, we have confident Carmen over here, who is in career alignment. She knows herself deeply. She's continually learning and growing. She has that growth mindset. She's green and growing. She embraces challenges. She gets excited for challenges. She gets excited for Mondays. In fact, Monday is her favorite day of the week. She's fulfilled by the work she does. She's utilizing her strengths and working in her genius zone. She's in flow. Her career is aligned to her values and her lifestyle, meaning she has work-life balance. Having a career that suits you. What would this look like if it suited your personality, suited your strengths, suited your skill set, your passions, your values, and your lifestyle? So shall we dive in to helping you today? We've got 2 exercises that are in your workbook as well. So grab your workbook out. This is what it looks like. A guide to career clarity. Download your workbook. If you download it, it's all fillable. And let's dive in. The first activity is a holistic life assessment tool. This is going to give you a bird's eye view of what's working well in your life right now and what needs some improvement, what's not working so well, that you might want to bring into your awareness to start working on. Okay, so let's do this. Feel free to pause this recording of this video and complete these exercises as you're going. The wheel of life. You may have done this before, and that is okay, because I recommend doing it again. I do this every year to get a real snapshot of what's working well for me. I do this at the start of the year when I'm doing my goal setting and reflection and you know, visualizing for what I want for that year ahead. If you've done this before, do it again and compare with the last time you did it. So what you're going to do is select 8 key areas of your life, important areas like your main chunks of life, and add them to the wheel of life on the next page. So this is an example, and then we'll have a blank wheel for you to complete. So choose some of these, choose your 8 key areas, or there might be something different that's not in there. This is you know, unique to you. So we'll go to this second page, and what you'll do is you'll write your key areas all around here. And then you're going to imagine the middle is 0 and the outer edge is 10. And then you're going to draw a line for each area. So it's probably easier to look back at this one. So see, this person's rated family, that's probably at about a 7 out of 10. Finance is probably at about a 3. Hobbies is probably about a 8 or 9. You know, wherever that is for you on that scale from 0 to 10. And as you can see for this person, it's finance and career that are the lowest. So these would be the 2 areas that we'd identify for this person to start working on. And as you can, if you were to imagine this as a wheel, it's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride, isn't it? Okay, so what would it be like, you know, to have all areas of your life running smoothly? And I'm not saying that is going to happen all the time. Of course, we're all, you know, going to go through things in life. But what if they could all be, you know, like a 8 out of 10 or higher? Now, this exercise can be quite confronting for some people. I have had some people get really confronted, get emotional doing this, because they never stop to really reflect and assess their life holistically like this. So if that is you, know that you're not alone. Now, this exercise, I do actually have a third one in here as well. Once you've completed this, you will then list from 1 to 8 in order. So what so this exercise is doing your career priorities, assessing where does career fit into your life. And so you'd put whichever one you marked highest, you'd list that up here, 1 down to 8. And that's going to then categorize to your top 3, your middle 3, and your bottom 3. And this explains in the workbook the next steps of this, of what the top 3, middle 3, and bottom 3. So I'd like you to do that first, list them 1 to 8. And then in the workbook, it talks about your top 3 being, if career falls into your top 3, then this is a calling for you. There is a calling for you to find a career that you're really feeling pulled, highly passionate about, and it's going to give you meaning. The middle is what we call a career. Okay, so it will be something that is utilizing your strengths, your passions, and it's something that is a career. If career falls into the bottom 2, sorry, not bottom 3, then that is what we call a job, and that is okay. It just means that career holistically in your life isn't your top priority right now. And it's okay. We all have stages and phases of our life, and having a job that is just to pay the bills might be your priority. And it might be about finding some hobbies outside of your career or your job. So remembering stages of phases of life, and this is unique for everyone. Okay, I'm so pleased to hear that exercise has been so valuable for so many of you. And for those watching the replay, please let us know, how was that exercise for you? We'd love to hear from you. Next up in your workbook, we do have a traffic light skills audit, and that's what we're going to be exploring today. Okay, so what is a traffic lights skills audit? It is a skills audit, and we're going to do an assessment of your skills going by traffic lights. So, red, orange, green mentality. So let me explain. In your workbook, you would have, there is some sections in there to do those 2 valuable questions. What are my skills? Right, start brainstorming everything that you do in your current career. And what do people come to me for help with? Okay, so you would have started brainstorming those in the workbook. Then the traffic light skills audit. What you're going to do is start to categorize your skills. So think of, what are the things that I do on a daily basis? Some people are like, I don't know what my skills are. And, I ask them, well, what did you do today? What did you do yesterday? What's in your calendar for the day ahead? Let's just look at what you do, because these are your skills. And there may be some other skills that are not being utilized that you may only do quarterly or annually, or that you see other people doing that you would love to do as well. So you can add them in on your list on the next page as well. But start reflecting, what do you do daily, weekly, monthly? Start writing these down, and know that this is a work in progress. You can keep adding to these lists. So this is simply to get you thinking and write everything down. And there is a lot more room to write this down in your workbook, and it's fillable as well. So if you download that, you can type straight in. And then next up, you're going to go back and review your list of skills and complete this traffic light skills audit on every single item that you've listed. I do recommend really getting as many as you can down. So even pause this and really put some thought into that. And you're going to use this key like green and put a big tick next to it. If it's a task or activity that you like, it brings you joy, you enjoy doing it. Or you're going to put a question mark if you're like, meh, it's okay, I'll do it if I have to. Or you're going to put a cross next to this if it's a hell no, I would love to ditch or delegate this. Okay, so you're going to go through and assess each of these. Another great tip to add in here is pull out your resume or your job description to get clarity on some of your tasks and activities that you are doing. All right. Once you've done that, you're then going to copy and paste over in your workbook and put a list of all of the things that you put a tick next to it. So copy and paste them, and you're going to list that in here. This is it in your workbook. It's a long list here of, I like it, I enjoy doing this. And you're going to then put the list of the hell no's here. I want to ditch or delegate this. Okay, give you some time to do that now and copy and paste all of that over. All right. Now, we're completely ignoring and leaving the question mark ones for now, because I want you to purely zone in on the things you really enjoy doing and the things that are a hell no. And now I want you to look at your list of everything that's in your left column with a tick next to it. What if you were to imagine if you could do more of the list on the left and less of the list on the right that are all got the crosses that you want to ditch or delegate? Now, what would that look like for you? This is a simple activity, but very profound. It's very profound when you get to the detail, yeah? When you get to the detail and really get a comprehensive list and start to see themes and patterns of the things that you like and the things that are a hell no for you. So looking at this like your hell yes list and your hell no list. This is the exact thing that helped me move from my resume writing business to the career coaching, doing this activity. It was a mentor of mine at the time. I was starting to feel like I was avoiding some tasks in my business, and I was starting to feel a little bit drained and exhausted, and I was procrastinating. And a mentor at the time said to me, do a skills audit, write down everything I do in my business and do this exercise. And I did. And that's when I could see, I love doing the consultation with people. I love helping them with their, getting clarity in their career. I was naturally doing it even on a resume consult. And the parts that I was avoiding was some of the back end tasks of actually writing the resume. Even though I was good at it, it wasn't something I was loving or bringing me joy. And it felt so unachievable for me to think, well, what if I could just do the coaching sessions and not do that work? I was like, that would be a dream come true. And then I thought, well, what if I was a career coach? And back then, career coaches weren't even that heard of. And that's when I then went on my journey to start retraining and studying human behavior. My philosophy for getting clarity in your career, it starts with you. It starts with looking internally first. To know what you want, you need to know yourself and know yourself deeply. Please know that we're always learning about ourselves. We're always peeling back onion layers, the multiple layers, and learning more about ourselves. So I'm not saying you don't know yourself well, but there's always more to learn. Or there could be things blocking us and getting in our way. So our 5-step formula to creating a career alignment, the first 2 steps of this are internally focused, of looking internally first before we look external. So on this page here, you'll see here, phase 1 is the first 2.5 and phase 2 is the second 2.5. So we start with focusing internally on who we are, what are our values, what are our strengths, what motivates us, what are our drivers, what's our genius, and all of these different areas, and then looking what's getting in our way to stop us from having the confidence to go forward with what we really want to do. It's really this self-awareness and self-discovery phase. And before we start looking externally, which is the personal branding, the positioning, the pitching, selling yourself, making it happen, marketing yourself and authentically selling yourself. A bit of an overview of our signature process there. This is just with some little descriptions. This clarity is about getting clear on your career direction. And so often people want to jump straight to the how, but we need to start with the what and the why before moving to the how. So this is where you want to start with getting clear on that direction and creating your career vision. Then overcome the barriers and build that self-confidence, getting out of your own way. Then we look into getting and doing some planning. Then it's about marketing yourself, connecting, collaborating, opening and expanding opportunities, looking at how you're going to position yourself and build that personal brand, and then learning those authentic sales strategies to convert and make it happen. To dive deeper into this first pillar that we do go into in our Career Blueprint program, here are some examples of the things that you are going to get out of the Career Blueprint program. You are going to know your values, your personal values, your career values. You're going to know more about who you are your personality and your purpose. You'll understand your decision drivers and what's driving you. You'll understand more about what are your strengths and your genius zone, your transferable skills, what motivates you in your career, what demotivates you, what drains your energy, what lights you up, what are your passions, what is your purpose, your uniqueness, knowing your vision, you're allowing yourself to dream of what could be possible. And then also looking at, well, where do you need to develop? What's blocking you? What are your stuck patterns or your confidence killers? And working this all towards what would an ideal career day look like for you? And all of this is forming what we call your career blueprint. We have a plethora of tools and activities to help you self-reflect, discover these elements and get clarity on your direction. We combine this with these online tools and resources with some one-to-one coaching to truly unpack that. So this is another client testimonial from Alicia. She says, when I came to Sally, I was unhappy and burnt out in my job. I knew I wanted a career change, but had no idea what I wanted to do next. After just a couple of months of working through the program, I'm now so clear about what my future career is and what it means to me. She's emotionally connected, and now she's studying and working towards a complete new career path with so much excitement. She's been able to unlock the passion and drive for what is possible for me, and my outlook has completely changed. So she has gone from being a teacher to a nutritionist, actually. So that was Alicia. And this was her, we measure and do progress reports. So before she started working with us, this is where she rated these pillars: clarity, create, confidence were 2s and 1s. And then after working with us, they were 9s, 8s, 9s. Connect and convert was that second phase that she didn't actually even do that one, and they still went up. Whereas she only did phase 1 of the program. More success stories are all on our website. So feel free to go to careercreators.com.au/testimonials to see that. What have you been loving and what have you been learning so far? Just stop and reflect. What has been most valuable for you? And if you are loving this and would love to go even deeper, then I would love to give you the opportunity to grab your second freebie now, which is an opportunity for a career strategy session. I will include the link for you to book that in. If you've watched this on the replay, grab that link, and I would love to go even deeper of what this looks like for you. Is it about the clarity? Is it about building the confidence? We can start to personalize things. And just like Crystal shared earlier, this free session was so profound for her and was the first step for her completely transforming her life.